Okay, today we're doing 2.7, modeling with quadratic functions. Our central question is, how do you write a quadratic function given points, x-intercepts, or the vertex? So we're going to be writing equations using either a graph or some information that's given to us. I'm going to be using both vertex and intercept form, but for today, we're just using vertex form. So that's this equation right here. Our intercept form we went through the other day, that's y equals a x minus p x minus q. But for today, we're just going to be looking at vertex. So for the first example, if I have this graph, we want to write an equation in vertex form here. So I'm going to start with my equation that's given to me, y equals a x minus h squared plus k. From here, I can start identifying different parts of the graph. So for example, I have my vertex right here. This is my vertex. And remember that vertex is hk. So this is my h, this is my k. And I also have a point that's given to me. The point that's given to me is 4, 6, which we can call x and y. So what I'm going to do is plug in all the pieces that I have, h, k, x, and y, into this equation here. So my y value is 6. I don't know what my a value is. X is 4. We are subtracting our h value, which is 2, squaring this, and we're adding our k value, which is negative 2. So plugging in all the pieces. Again, y is 6, a is unknown, x is 4, h is 2, k is negative 2. Once I have this, I can start simplifying this equation. So I've got 6 on this side, equals a. I'm doing 4 minus 2 squared here. So I have 2 squared, and I still have this minus 2 on the outside. One thing that's really important is this term right here is all being multiplied together. So this 2 squared times a is all one piece. So if I evaluate this, 2 squared is 4, and we're multiplying 4 and a, subtracting 2, and this is all equal to 6. So what I can do is I can solve for a here. To get this a by itself, again, these are being multiplied, so they're kind of stuck together. I have to move this 2 over first. So I'm going to add 2 on both sides. We get a times 4 equals 8. Now to get my a by itself, because these are being multiplied, we do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I divide both sides here by 4. So a is equal to 2. So from here, we need to write our actual equation. When I'm writing my equation, I want to plug in these specific values. I want a, h, and k. My x and y are going to remain as variables, and I just want to plug in those 3 values. We solved for a, we have our h and k right here. So we can write our entire equation. So our equation would read as y equals, my a value is 2, I have x minus h, which is also 2, and we have our minus 2 as our k value. Sorry that these are all 2's, but that ends up being our final answer, our final equation. So from here, what I want to do next is the same thing, but without the graph. So they're telling us that we're passing through this point, and this is our vertex. So if we're passing through this point, this is our x and y, and again, our vertex is h, k. So all this stuff is kind of laid out for us already. So if we're doing y equals ax minus h squared plus k, again, I'm just plugging in all the pieces I have. The only thing that I'm missing is my a value. So here y is 0, a is unknown, x is negative 3. We're subtracting our h value, which is negative 1. Squaring this, adding our k value, which is negative 8. Again, be careful with your negatives here. I I do have a couple double negatives. Order of operations tells me to do my parentheses first. So I'm doing what's inside the parentheses first. This is -3 minus -1, or -3 plus 1. So -3 plus 1 would give us -2, and this is still being squared. I'm just gonna bring down the rest of this equation. If I square this -2, that's gonna give me a positive 4. So here I have 4, I still have this a minus 8 equals 0. Again, don't subtract this 4, these two things are being multiplied together, so we're adding 8 on both sides. If I add 8 to both sides of the equation, we then get 8 equals a times 4, and we can divide both sides to get our answer. So our a value again is equal to 2. Sorry, these answers keep ending up being the same thing, but here's our a value. Last thing we want to do is write our equation. So again, I'm just plugging in a, h, and k. So my final answer would be y equals 2 x minus -1 squared plus -8. Again, I can clean this up a little bit. We can clean this up a little bit more. Again, this double negative becomes a positive. So we can say that y is equal to 2x plus 1 squared minus 8. And that's our final answer. Cool. Don't forget to put a summary on this. Hopefully this isn't too bad. You do have a big ideas today, and that big idea is you should be showing this work for. So please make sure you are identifying x, y, h, and k, solving for a here. Cool. Have a wonderful day. I will see you guys tomorrow.